This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
I'm sorry, Warlord. I would usually cover a Birmingham strike. Absolutely, we stand with workers. You're going to have to explain to me what you mean by scabs, though, because in the United States, a scab is somebody who breaks a strike. They're a worker who steps in to break a strike. Well, we don't have time for it right now. Wait a minute, are you calling people who pick up your trash scabs? Because that seems like a slur. We got so much Epstein news, it'll make your tits fly off. That's what we're doing tonight. Tones, welcome in. Warlord. A Democratic congresswoman was apparently texting with Epstein. She had to defend herself on the floor today. A outgoing Democratic congressman anointed his successor. This caused an uproar within the Democratic Party. He defended himself on the floor of the House today. DJ Tub, welcome in, my friend. I'm drinking, this is nut milk. I'm drinking nut milk. And you know what? It's not bad. If you guys, from Bubba, if you guys know me, you know I'm very dairy oriented, post nut milk clarity. Well, it's vanilla almond milk. Cause I walked out and Curiouser asked me if I wanted some brownies, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want some brownies. Progressive Squirrel, let's go. I think they're peanut butter. And they're like, oh, I drank all my milk. And she's like, well, you can have some nut milk. So nut milk it is. You can't have brownies without milk. I wonder if brownies was one of, and stick with me here. We have a packed full, chock full, jammed news night. I got all kinds of shit. But this is going on currently. We're going to be just a couple minutes behind because it was happening as I was coming on. But I figured we might want to rewind. You guys may want to see this, so we're going to switch over to the watch screen here. We're about 11 minutes behind now. Of course, he was hosting. I said Mohammed bin Salman to. Goddamn, Melania's got a dumper on her now, doesn't she? Fuck. I may have a new GOP mommy. Prince Bonesaw to his right.
Everybody, thank you. What an honor. Well, this is a very special occasion, and it is indeed my honor to welcome to the White House a great friend and a man of leadership, vision, courage, and strength, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And we had a big day today. Big day.
Him's a big boy. He had a big day today.
We know each other well over the years, and he has become a true partner for peace and prosperity for our countries and for the world and for peace in the Middle East, which was a crowning achievement for both of us.
Blue Magic, welcome in.
And I just want to say that Crown Prince Mohammed, we're delighted to have you with us at the White House. Very special, very, very special.
The lighting's not good. It makes him look very pale. Or maybe he just doesn't look good.
I'd like to also express my gratitude to our wonderful First Lady for organizing this beautiful evening. She worked hard.
His tux looks a size too small.
Thank you. And we're pleased to be joined as well by Vice President J.D. Vance and his magnificent wife, Usha. Thank you. Thank you, J.D.
No, what is this room has a name? I forget what it is.
And his wife.
The ballroom has not been completed yet.
Wherever you may be. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Princess Rima. Thank you, Princess Rima. Such an incredible representative of your country.
It's pretty appalling that
Great job you do.
they're having MBS at the White House.
Saudi delegation, we want to thank you very much for being with us. We spent a lot of time with you today in the cabinet. You're extremely good negotiators, that I can tell you.
For numerous reasons, the top two probably being 9/11 and the murder of Jamal Khashoggi.
All night. This room is loaded up with the biggest leaders in the world, business, sports.
Ducky, welcome in.
Son is a big fan.
Notice that business is the first thing he says. It's a kleptocracy.
And
It is absolute. This is scarier than any horror movie I watched last month.
I think he respects his father a little bit more now, just the fact that I introduced you. So I just want to thank you both for being here. Thank you very much. Really an honor. But I want to thank everybody because you have the biggest business leaders in the world. You have the biggest leaders politically anywhere in the world. And I think it's a group that maybe to this extent has never come together quite like this.
Business is business, though. Is that a Depeche Mode song?
Every one of them.
Business is business, so why can't it be?
And we'll have to do another one in about 2 years from now. But we really do. We appreciate it very much. It's a special privilege to welcome His Royal Highness to Washington this year as we mark the 80th anniversary of the first meeting between U.S. President and a Saudi king. 8 decades ago in 1945, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt met with the Crown Prince's own grandfather, the founder of the Saudi Arabian incredible country.
Politically, welcome in.
King Abdul Aziz on the deck of the U.S. Navy.
I'm not so sure you're not a Fed, clinically.
It's become known for that meeting all over the world. The two became immediate and warm friends, and in fact, when we were walking down
Blue Magic, you don't really believe that, do you?
I said, so which
Those motherfuckers are there to invest in themselves. This motherfucker is all about enriching himself.
friend to Saudi Arabia? I said, which is the greatest of the president's friends of Saudi Arabia? And I think you said, very truly, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Now, he's a Democrat, so I don't know. But
I've never been suspicious of you until like just now. It just struck me.
But ever since, our countries have been enduring partners, and together this evening, we're making that partnership closer and stronger than ever before. And we've never had the relationship, our countries, like this. We had four great years, but things happened.
4 great years.
Were signed, and we went through a lot during the first 9 months. And we have a very different Middle East than we had when I first came into office, like I would say day and night. As I saw during my wonderful visit to the kingdom in May,
You had the Taliban in there a couple weeks ago.
it has made extraordinary strides and grown into an economic engine and really a modern day miracle, an amazing transformation, and all for the good. This opening up of
It's just now I feel like you're trying to bait me, to goad me
Saudi Arabia is really
into saying something violent so you can send the feds after me.
And
I'm on to you now.
$1 billion. That means jobs. That means jobs. It's also good for your companies, but I'm only interested in the jobs for your country. I'm not interested in the profits, but I guess the profits are there.
Oh, he's interested in jobs, all right. A blow job.
And today I said, any way you can up that? And he said, I am going to up that to $1 trillion. So he's investing $1 trillion into the United States.
I don't know about being here to make money.
I was in Saudi Arabia.
Make money is like third on the list of reasons I do this.
The first to say it, but a lot of people have said it after. He said, you know, 1 year ago, we thought your country was dead. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We are the hottest country anywhere in the world right now.
But to make money, I'd do a lot different show.
Effective lines that I have. And I quote you, and I quote some others, but I always put you up at top. But many people have said that.
We're just about 10 minutes behind.
Exciting agreements on
This is close to live.
critical minerals and artificial
He's
intelligence
just kind of rambling.
that nobody's ever heard of before. And Jensen, I want to thank you. You had a great meeting of
Jensen?
wherever you may be, and I want to thank Tim Cook and Apple for all of the money that you're investing in the United States. They're both investing
When they say investing in the United States,
companies,
I just smoked a bowl with Curiouser.
large sums because they believe in what we are doing and what's
Tim Apple.
this miracle that's taken place in the USA. Together, these will come together. We're going to have support the many thousands of American jobs that have been created and help solidify the USA and the world leader. We're really now by far the world leader in technology, and nobody even questions it. Advanced manufacturing and other vital industries.
Sir, I'm going to question that. I don't think we're the world leader in technology.
Gaining business that will never be manufactured.
I am questioning you right now.
These businesses again that are coming back to us in record numbers, AI plants, but maybe even most of
Well, I think the light that we're seeing is the light that's shining on the podium.
the United States, and I have to say because of tariffs, I'll also say because
And
of
it's like a real harsh
the election,
white light.
because of the tariffs.
And that is reflecting on him and making him look incredibly pale.
Is in the room and their stock
Which isn't it. This is way creepier than the Biden in front of the red and blue.
called mid-sized trucks and large trucks. So I wanted to get into it because their stock went through the roof, and they were very happy.
He had the Taliban over like 2 weeks ago.
Gave it to them at their request, and for that they get a big fat salary. But more importantly, they create jobs all over the country. It's been amazing. And the business you've gotten in the mid-size and the large trucks because of what we did with tariffs.
Yeah, it's like he's doing the Blair Witch thing,
Both companies, and thank
holding the
you.
light underneath.
And as we announced in May, Saudi Arabia is also making an enormous commitment to building up its own defense capabilities with the largest arms purchase in history, nearly $142 billion.
Oh, yeah, that's what this is all about.
American military equipment and services. And as I've said many times, and we've demonstrated just a short while ago, but quite a bit. We make the best military equipment in the world by far. We make the best jets, the best missiles. We make the best.
That's what this is all about.
There's nothing even close. But this will mark and make both of our nations safer and cement the kingdom's role as a key force for stability and security in the Middle East. And they are, I think right now, I can say with what we did with our beautiful B-2 bomb.
No, Blue Magic. That is a big boost for defense contractors' economy. It's not our economy. We're not all sharing in that.
Anymore. They'd like very much to make a deal with us, and they call us, and we'll end up probably doing that. That's Iran.
Nor is jobs an excuse to make bombs to arm
Best in terms
terrorist governments that attacked us and killed our own people. You're absurd. This is why I call right-wingers morons.
It's not there anymore, and we want to keep it that way. So that's why tonight I'm pleased to announce that we're taking our military cooperation to even greater heights by formally designating Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally, which is something that is very important to them. And I'm just telling you now for the first time because I wanted to keep a little secret for tonight. I just heard him.
They committed 9/11.
You won today. and signing a historic strategic
I
defense.
just saw,
Signed up.
leading into the election in New York City, a bunch of memes like, oh, you've forgotten, in relation to
And more capable.
an American citizen being elected mayor.
It will serve the highest interest of peace, and we all share in peace.
Here, this motherfucker is doing a deal with the actual government that attacked us. The very people that attacked us on 9/11.
Now we have to make sure it matures properly and is really.
He's selling them arms,
all good things.
and Republicans are silent.
Help too. I want to thank the Crown Prince for the role he played in the transformational
Avalon,
was
Alien, welcome in.
last month.
This motherfucker, I'm referring to Prince Bonesaw, Mohammed bin Salman, who is two Trumps right.
Messy. It has for many, many years. I will tell you, many decades. But it's getting
Dismembered.
perfected. And
You thank you, Tones. Dismembered a American citizen journalist by the name of Jamal Khashoggi, who worked for the Washington Post. This was
the
just
Middle East is a miracle.
5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Make it a miracle, and we're very close to doing that. But as you know, all of the living hostages were returned to their families. We got all 20 out of 20. And likewise, this sounds terrible, but the parents of the dead people, young men, mostly young men.
Buddy, you don't see the big deal of selling arms to the people who attacked us on 9/11.
The parents of the living. The
Are you
parents
shitting me?
do anything to get their boy. They got him back. And the parents of the dead wanted them just as much. It almost seemed as though they wanted them more. And today, through the efforts of Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco Rubio,
Parkourus, welcome in, friend.
everybody worked together. We worked so hard together. 2 more bodies were brought back,
Oregon gal.
up to almost the full count. I think we're too short.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to it.
Work has been done by Hamas, and a lot of people said they wouldn't be doing that, but they did do it. And the bodies have been delivered to the families.
Well, it's a nice chandelier, Avalon.
And at least they can be in peace. It's amazing. It was a miserable period of time. We have 2 more to go, and I think we'll be
If you ever do get paid to shat on somebody,
not easy. Not
I've got some advice for you.
met with many of those parents, and what a time
Life is too
they've
short
had.
to walk this
But we
earth
also want to
bureaucracy
thank all of the people living in Gaza, the residents of Gaza, and they've, as you know, begun to move back to their homes, and a lot more safety. They said today a lot more safety than they've ever had before. It was a rough neighborhood, to put it mildly. And
If you were just joining us, this is
Gaza and just about every.
close to live.
Just yesterday, the United
Is he still rambling?
so formally adopted my $1 billion investment and contribution
We'll,
to our country.
we'll skip ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please.
Well, it's too hard to speak after Mr. President. No one speaks better than him. But first of all, I will start with thanking Mr. President for the warm and great welcome that we have today. We feel home, and this relation started around close to 9 decades ago with Roosevelt and King Abdulaziz, who've established the modern Saudi Arabia. Also, I've known that America is almost celebrating 250 years of establishment, and also
Well, that's just bullshit,
celebrating
Blue
something,
Magic.
300 years of establishing Saudi Arabia. We've been since the last 9 decades working together in many areas. During the World War II, we was a major supplier for oil. During the Cold War, countering extremism, terrorism, but during that time, we've been also working on a lot of economical opportunities. But today, it's a special day. We think the horizon of the economical cooperation between Saudi Arabia and the rest of America, it's bigger and wider in many areas. We've been signing a lot of agreement that's going to open the door to develop the relation deeper in many areas, and we're going to work on it. We believe the opportunities is huge, so we're going to focus on implementation and keep increasing the opportunities between our both.
We're going to accuse Venezuela of being a narco-terrorist country as a pretense to attack
Some
it.
of the bidding sites that they're bidding.
We're gonna partner up with an actual terrorist country.
Bidding me wearing black suits. I'm coming here with the black suits. They're gonna get almost 17x. So I want to tell them, sorry, you lose the bid. Maybe next time. So thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi. If you missed it, Melania's ass looking quite nice. We saw her walk in earlier. Oh God, what weird music. I'm sure he loves this shit. Oh shit, yep. I'm just saying. She's getting to the age that I really, really like women. Now, come on, Clay. There's no way you have that high of standards. That's a 4 out of 10 ass. I mean, she's no Nelly Furtado. So there's been some major news going on in the last couple of hours. We haven't even started talking about that. The Senate, by unanimous consent, has voted to release the Epstein files.
Things are moving pretty quickly on the Epstein front. President Trump responding to the Senate's pretty fast move, agreeing to pass the House bill seeking release of all Epstein files. Trump posted on Truth Social that Republicans should focus on their victories and more or less move on. He did not say in that Truth Social post definitively that he would sign the legislation. That is a looming question. Political panel joins me now, CBS News political contributor and Republican strategist Terry Sullivan, former spokesperson to Vice President Biden, Kendra Barkov-Lammy. It's great to have you both with us. Kendra, start us off. Your take on what is a fast-moving Epstein matter after being stalled and held in abeyance for months.
See, I would argue that this has been held in abeyance for years.
Yes, it has. As the intro to the show made patently clear.
Yeah, I would say the fact that we are talking about this as much as we are is great, but the fact that the survivors' voices have gone unheard for as long as they have, and we're still focusing, frankly, on the men and the politics behind this and not as much on their voices, I think should be changed. I think there's been a few press conferences on the Hill where people have heard from survivors, but this has been a long time coming. Epstein was in jail in 2010. He got out, and we are now talking 15 years later that we are finally starting to get to the bottom of it.
That jail term was a sweetheart deal for sure on a state charge.
Correct.
When there was the pendency of a much broader federal indictment just waiting to go put on the shelf. Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think we're all on the same page that sex trafficking of anyone, but especially minors, young girls, is horrific. And I agree. I think this is something like it's sad that in order for it to get the media coverage that it's getting now, it has to be a political issue. When this is just a heartbreaking story of someone abusing their power and being a real monster. And so I think that if there is good out of the politics of it, it's bringing it to light.
The reversal of President Trump is rather conspicuous because he was saying this is a hoax. Republicans don't fall for this. You're a fool if you get behind the discharge petition. Then on Sunday, he says it's okay because he knew he was going to lose that vote. Sure. An uncomfortable truth for this president to reconcile himself to.
Yeah, Jack Oliver, who's a big fundraiser for George W. Bush back in the days, used to have a famous saying that he said, figure out what's going to happen and be for it. And that's what the president did here, is he figured out what was going to happen and he's for it. Look, I think this is, there's
I don't know what maneuver they're going to pull.
done anything wrong. But I do think that they've mishandled this issue.
And it confused a lot of people close to the president. Why the hesitation on this? Why?
It confused me. I mean, and look, and on the front end, this was much more of a...
Well, it shouldn't, the thing that should confuse you is why did he suddenly agree?
Bottom of this, what happened, where's the list and all this stuff. So for him to kind of pump the brakes and move away was a bit startling and surprising. I think the whole thing, he just wanted to move past it and wants to focus on other issues.
Kendra, do you think if the president signs this legislation that the files will be released from Justice and Treasury? Because Treasury's got stuff on Epstein as well.
I think there are so many more files than people even recognize about where they are scattered everywhere. And I would just say to the Trump administration,
yeah, Tina Fey,
badly they bungled this. They brought influencers in very early on in this administration.
To get the binders.
To get the binders. And that is making a mockery.
And the binders had very little in it.
The binders had nothing in there that was remotely new. They made a mockery of the entire Epstein process, and they have bungled this from the start. Not surprising.
Go ahead, Jerry.
I was just going to say, but the interesting thing is there's two things here. There's a real case and real crimes and real tragedy. And then there's political conspiracy. And often the focus is on the political conspiracy side of things. And the thing about conspiracies is they never end. You can't prove a negative on a conspiracy because everything could be released and people will still believe, well, what do they hold back? Where's the secret? Where's the conspiracy here? So I do think that those two things, there's a fine line between them that are crossing back and forth.
Kendra?
Yes, but I would just say, but again, to your point, Republicans were really good on this issue, and they had an opportunity to squash this from the start and to come in and to make right and to do right by these women, and they didn't. And they have drawn this out for an enormously long period of time. They have tortured women, and
well, I don't know that Republicans have tortured women. That seems like it.
I'm saying they've tortured them by drawing out the process of releasing these files.
But very quickly, I don't know that Joe Biden.
All I heard about for years was Epstein didn't kill himself, and now people are going around saying, "I can't believe we're still talking about it."
Kendra Barkoff-Lammy, thank you.
You can't believe we're still talking about the elite pedophile ring of people that run our government. Torchy, welcome in. Trump has responded to the Senate. I don't know if they played it when I was in the bathroom there.
We are now hearing for the first time since the Senate made its move from President Trump. Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House. Come on in, Gabe, because it came on Truth Social, which is where the president often delivers that first reaction in the last few seconds.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. Look, no sooner than I had to walk away from this camera a few minutes ago, went inside to speak with White House officials about whether the president would sign this bill potentially tonight. At that same exact time, the president posting this on Truth Social.
He's having dinner with MBS right now. The Senate already passed it, yes.
I don't care when the Senate passes the House bill, whether tonight or at some other time in the near future. I just don't want Republicans to take their eyes off of all the victories we've had. And then he goes on to list some of those victories, including what he calls the Great Big Beautiful Bill and also closing borders. This is something that the president has insisted on over the last several days, Hallie, expressing this frustration that the Epstein files is dominating the conversation here in Washington and overshadowing what he feels are the accomplishments of his administration. But again, the president in the last few minutes saying that he essentially does not care about the timing of when this gets out of Congress, but also giving no indication about when he actually does plan to sign this bill.
Sign it tonight.
House officials, again, very briefly in the few minutes.
Quesadilla.
They have no indication on whether the president might sign this tonight. It is notable, however, that he will be hosting.
Yeah, it's sus if you don't want
Ben Salman
pedos brought to justice. Just throwing that out there.
Unclear if he'll be able to sign this tonight or if he could wait to sometime in the future, Hal.
Gabe,
oh, he's going to wait.
Go too far from a camera, given the pace of things tonight. Appreciate that.
We thank you for watching.
Oh, shut up, Tom Llama.
Breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app.
You ain't no Lester.
On our YouTube channel.
We miss Lester. Trump doing a U-turn doing everything he could to block the release of the Epstein files for pretty much the entirety of his second term here. Now doing an about-face saying that he will sign the bill.
A massive U-turn over the Epstein files. After months of resistance and calling it a hoax, he instructed Republicans in Congress to vote for a bill that could see the files released in full. And so for the president and his MAGA movement, this moment could change everything. And it's a pretty dramatic shift in strategy, because Trump went from campaigning to release every file,
I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
to saying this once in office.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? I call it the Epstein hoax. Total bullshit. Okay?
But people haven't stopped talking about Epstein, because a new avalanche of emails purport to illuminate the former relationship between the president and the disgraced financier. And this latest release of Epstein files didn't come from the White House or the Department of Justice or the FBI. Instead, Congress acted. First, 3 emails were leaked by the Democrats, then a flood of thousands of documents from the Republicans. The White House dismissed it all.
It's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax.
But these emails and messages appear to show, again, just how close Epstein and Trump used to be. We revealed in August that the DOJ holds terabytes of evidence relating to Epstein. So this latest release is nowhere near the full story. But it raises so many...
Greater than 24 terabytes. That is an insane amount of
How
data.
it could shape the next crucial months of his presidency.
These emails look terrible for Trump. Just because there isn't evidence of crimes doesn't mean it's good for him or he's exonerated by it.
Now, the 20,000 plus documents Republicans dropped included plenty of high-profile names, but one name comes up again and again and again: Donald Trump.
More than anyone else.
The fact he hasn't released them is because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein over the years. His name keeps coming up.
People around the world have been combing through all these new files, and will be for days to come. From what we can see so far, there's nothing explicitly tying Trump to sexual assault. And of course, the president has not been accused of any wrongdoing and specifically denies knowledge of Epstein's crimes. But there are things these files do show, like Epstein trying to leverage his former relationship with Trump for political influence. Take this email, sent to a New York Times reporter, Landon Thomas Jr., during Trump's first campaign to be president. Epstein offers up a photo of Donald and the girls in bikinis in my kitchen, though such a photo would not be incriminating in itself. Journalist Michael Wolff corroborates the existence of pictures like these.
I have seen the pictures of the girls, of again, a dozen snapshots, 3 of which
Hate this guy.
remember, 2 with topless girls sitting on Donald Trump's lap.
Slimy as fuck.
Epstein discusses the president with an acquaintance and says, "I am the one able to take him down." Now, Wolff has previously said that during the 2016 election, Steve Bannon reportedly jokingly told Epstein, "You were the only person I was afraid of during the campaign." And Epstein apparently replied, "As well you should have been." And none of this accuses Trump of any criminal wrongdoing.
Donald Trump can't be prosecuted.
They keep saying it.
For many reasons. The sitting president can't be prosecuted. Mere knowledge is not enough. We're talking about politics, we're talking about perception, and we're talking about embarrassment here.
These emails could indeed be embarrassing for Trump. In an email sent by Epstein in 2017, he claims to have been spending Thanksgiving in the same area as the then sitting president. If Trump and Epstein were in the same area for the holiday and potentially spent it together, then it directly contradicts Trump's claims that he broke off relations with Epstein more than a decade before. Now, Trump has yet to address these specific allegations directly, and the White House records from the time show that Trump did spend the holiday in Mar-a-Lago, but no guest list has been released. The relationship between the two men has previously consistently been downplayed by President Trump, but these ties between the two go back decades. It's believed they first became friends in the late 1980s or early 1990s. Flight logs reveal that Trump flew on Epstein's plane, nicknamed the Lolita Express, at least 7 times between 1993 and 1997. In an interview with New York Magazine in 2002, Trump described Epstein as a terrific guy, and just 2 years before he died, Epstein said he was Donald Trump's closest friend for 10 years. Epstein's relationship with Trump was brought up in his 2010 deposition to the FBI.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Trump has repeatedly denounced Epstein and distanced himself from the disgraced financier, denying he ever went to his infamous island.
I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I was not a fan of his, that I can tell you.
So where do these new files fit in to this timeline? The Democrats chose to release 3 specific emails, intended, no doubt, to damage Trump and force the hand of law enforcement.
The DOJ and the FBI have the most pertinent information, and we're trying to get out what the reasoning is behind not releasing these files. That's why I released those particular emails.
And all 3 raise questions. On the 2nd of April 2011, 5 years before Donald Trump is president, Epstein writes to Ghislaine Maxwell, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." He then says Trump spent hours at his house with one of Epstein's victims, but that he has never once been mentioned. Again, it's important to note they don't say that Trump did anything wrong, only that Trump was present.
That victim is Virginia Giuffre.
Thinking about that. So
the Republicans released the unredacted one.
Between the pair.
They did not ever intend for these emails to get out. I don't think they had an incentive to lie in those instances when they're emailing each other about very important strategy.
Remember, a year earlier, Epstein refused to answer the FBI's questions about Trump. And then here, in this email, he alleges Trump spent hours with a victim. But 14 years later, Maxwell told the US Deputy Attorney General from inside prison that she didn't ever recall seeing Trump in Epstein's house. After that interview with Todd Blanche, Maxwell was moved to a lower security prison. Since then, reports have come out saying she's receiving preferential treatment. The next email is from 2015. At this point, Trump's running for the White House and questions about his relationship with Epstein are being raised. Here, Epstein asked the journalist Michael Wolff what response he would craft for Trump if the candidate was pushed on this issue. "I think you should let him hang himself," Wolff says, and advises that Trump's answer could give Epstein political currency and work to his benefit. In the end, the Epstein story wouldn't explode until 2019, when Trump was in the White House. But Wolff's email here raises ethical questions. Why was he giving advice to Epstein, a convicted sex offender?
Remember what's going on here. I am in this, I am where no one else is. I am in proximity to a story which actually most people don't see at this point.
It's damaged Wolff's credibility as a journalist, and it makes it easy for the White House to set up. But more than that, it shows the potential to weaponize a relationship, which...
But I just want to point out that Michael Wolff has written 2 books about Donald Trump while he was president the first time. And I think he wrote a 3rd book about him after he got out of the White House. Continues to have a relationship with Trump. Had a relationship with Epstein. It's weird.
Trump denies ever existed. And then we come to the 3rd email released by the Democrats. It's another exchange with Wolff, this time from January 2019. Again, the name of the victim is redacted, and Epstein writes that Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Epstein claims that Trump knew what was going on, something Trump has always denied.
You certainly have to take the written and spoken words of criminals with a grain of salt. Just because he's made these accusations doesn't necessarily mean that they're true.
In another email sent shortly before he was arrested in 2019, Epstein claimed Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period. But he added he never got a massage. The president himself has also consistently said he knew nothing of Epstein's illegal behavior. So where do all these emails, messages, and files leave us? Well, for Trump, he's desperate for it to go away.
No matter what we give, it's never enough.
There are so many more questions to be answered by Trump and many others here.
We're trying to get to the truth, and the problem is Donald Trump is in the way of the truth right now. And so he's very much made himself relevant to this investigation.
And the biggest question of all, what's in all of the files that still haven't been released? According to our investigation, we know that there are terabytes of information, from phone records to recorded videos, that have not yet been made available to the public. The Republicans and Democrats so far have given us tens of thousands of documents, but there could be hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions more to come.
At a minimum, there should be videos of who was at Epstein's island, right? The question is, when is that information going to be made public, if at all?
This scandal has rocked American politics. For Democrats, the scandal provides more proof against a man they see as unfit to be president.
He campaigned on releasing all the Epstein files, obsessed about it. His vice president obsessed about it. And now the White House is involved in a massive cover-up, and we want to know why won't they release the files?
And for Trump's MAGA movement, this is exactly what many of them rage against: conspiracy corrupt elites, evidence of a swamp that Donald Trump swore he would drain. That's why Trump's election pledge to release the files was so effective and his attempts to back away from them so damaging. By leaking these emails and the push from the Democrats to release the files in full, Congress has effectively seized control. Trump's hand has been forced, and this U-turn really exposes just how big the Epstein problem is for the president.
The country has never been in better shape.
In his second term, Trump has enjoyed near blanket support from Congress. But on Epstein, even hardcore MAGA supporters like Marjorie Taylor Greene have gone against the president. And their war of words led to Trump withdrawing support for one of his closest allies.
The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor. And that is so extremely wrong.
And others have openly said they would vote against the president's wishes.
There are other Republicans who, if this came up to the floor for a vote, they would vote yes. They've told me that.
This move to back a vote he was always going to lose.
And the vote was surprising.
But the Trump-Epstein story is far from over. For one, we have no idea what else is in those files.
All but one congressman voted to release the files.
There's still no guarantee the files will actually be released. The bill will need Senate approval, and with many Republicans up for re-election...
And unanimous consent in the Senate.
Kill it at that point.
Didn't even come to a vote.
Does pass the bill.
They did.
Still needs one more signature. Donald Trump's.
Yes, now when is this going to
It will be
happen?
a huge political risk if he tries to stand in the way of a full release again. More likely, then, is Trump will spin this U-turn to his advantage.
The MAGA reaction to anything Epstein related is it's a very predictable cycle. It starts off with, this is fake, this is a hoax, Democrats made this up. Then it transitions to, well, it's real, but they're not presenting it in the way that they should be. Then it transitions to, it's real and it's great for us.
It might also be that we're seeing a major moment here for the MAGA movement. Trump is in his final years of the presidency. He can't run for another term. This movement is looking for the next person in line to wear the MAGA.
Well, this isn't normal political times.
A number of issues being debated right now by that movement. Many are angry that Tucker Carlson recently interviewed the far-right figure Nick Fuentes, something Trump has defended. Others are mad about Trump's approach to visas for foreign workers.
We're seeing the very beginnings of a party that has built itself around Donald Trump for the last 10 years, realizing that he's going to be off the stage sooner rather than later, and they have to figure out who they are as a
But he's not,
A
though.
year to go until the crucial midterm elections. It's very likely that whatever happens next,
He is going to force himself on us.
Epstein files released,
He is a factor in some way in 2028.
his friendship with Epstein, and his handling of these documents. Much
And
of Donald Trump's political...
it's not going to surprise me if he's still president.
And as much as the president hopes this will go away, those terabytes of information could give Donald Trump more problems and more questions to answer. And we're closer than ever to finding out what secrets they really hold.
A former FBI agent says that the Epstein files are getting ready to make the elite squirm.
This morning, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary and Director of the National Economic Council during both the Clinton and Obama administrations, says he is deeply ashamed for his relationship and communication with convicted sex predator Jeffrey Epstein. That was revealed through hundreds of messages. He said he's now stepping away from public life as the GOP calls for more investigation into former Democratic administration officials. Joining us this morning to discuss is former head of the Chicago PD and retired FBI special agent in charge.
Oh, God. Both their eyes are fucking with me.
Later today on this resolution for the DOJ to release all
She's got resting bitch face, and he's
Epstein. The president has encouraged House Republicans to go ahead and vote for it. He said he has nothing to hide and says this, quote, Democratic hoax
each side of my head.
perpetrated by radical left lunatics to deflect, he says, from...
Oh, it's the kid from Deliverance.
The issue, though, is that we're talking about unclassified reports. So if it's heavily redacted...
He's all grown up now.
What information will come from this, do you think, Jody?
Jen, I think we're going to see a lot of emails. I think we're going to see some investigative documentation, financial records, flight records.
Flash here, flash, you got your calipers.
Although it's not classified, it's always been considered very sensitive and secret federal grand jury information. And don't forget, there were 2 trials of Maxwell, so all those documents should be making their way out to the public.
So before we saw the oversight committee in the House there declassify thousands of documents, but no new information has been revealed. So what is left?
I think what's out there that people want to see is going to be Epstein's network, and that's going to be billionaires, politicians, who was really involved with this scumbag. We're going to probably see that. I think there are going to still be some questions. I don't think the quote Epstein list is going to be published, and I think people might see some investigative leads that weren't pursued, and they're going to be scratching their head and ask themselves why not. But here's what I hope. I do hope that now the victims will finally get a voice. I hope the public will get the level of transparency that they see, and I really hope the elites start to squirm a little bit when they start seeing the choices they made have resulted in this list coming public.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of names have already come out. Let's just be real. There's 50,000 pages of documents have been released. Trump said yesterday to reporters that the fixation on Epstein was another Russian hoax. He said Democrats like Larry Summers were now being looked at very seriously over his ties to Epstein. He also said, quote, "We have nothing to do with Epstein." He said the Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats.
Is that the maneuver that they're going to say that they opened this investigation into Bill Clinton and Larry Summers? And that's why they can't release all the files.
Trump said yesterday to reporters, "Do you believe that?"
And he's going to sign the bill and just not release everything.
Already leaked something from either side, quite frankly, because this has gone on since 2006. Or do you think there is any cover-up period?
I do think that the last administration definitely would have released any information that might be there on Trump. You can be guaranteed that. I do think this release, though, will hopefully put an end to this drip of information that is purely a distraction.
They keep saying that shit.
Right now. So hopefully this will all come out. I'm really happy President Trump encouraged that, recommended it, and get this out there so people can see what it really is and maybe what it isn't.
I'm curious, too, when there's a change of guard from the administration, because you have to assume this has been going on since Obama and then the first Trump presidency and then now with Biden and now with Trump again. When you have new agents, new set of eyes on cases, doesn't that mean more chances for more information to be released or just the opposite?
It could be, Jen, but it depends where the case is. Epstein is dead. There's been 2 trials. So being that the case has gone to a logical fruition and it's come to a kind of
media winch,
usually those cases remain closed unless there's an appeal or maybe a new trial that's coming up. But I would have expected this case to be over. I think the president expected this case to be over. But sadly, some members of Congress just want to be pushing this. So good move, getting it out. Let's be done with this.
It was people in his own administration. He was asked about it on the campaign trail.
You certainly don't want that to go out, but I'm hopefully a lot of this information going out. This case should not be classified. I don't see any reason that it would actually be classified under the traditional classification standards. A lot of sensitive information, but we'll have to see what comes out of there. But yeah, we should not see anything on the victims.
Former head of the Chicago PD and retired FBI special agent in charge, Jody Weeks.
Oh yeah, you can bet that dude's a piece of shit. The Epstein victims are celebrating. I was going to play a clip from them this morning when they held the press conference, but they are now celebrating the release.
And as many of us who are looking
just moments ago
know that the Senate has passed the bill under unanimous consent.
I was not expecting this afternoon for the House to pass it so overwhelmingly. I thought there was going to be a handful of Republicans, all of the Democrats.
So fair. That's so fair. Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about that. I think it's
They fought so hard.
It was the women survivors who are here with us tonight who passed this bill because it was their
Fought so hard to keep it from coming out.
bravery.
Voted overwhelmingly for it.
And it was their light that shone through the darkness that passed this bill today.
And so I am thinking about so many women as I am here today. And most of all,
I am thinking.
It's all right.
About Virginia Roberts Giuffre. We would not be here without her. There is no doubt in my mind about that. And, I very much, I think, like many people, there were fights going on. There were definitely women that had, worked so hard for so long for justice, but I had, given up on the idea that anything would happen in this case. After the Sweetheart deal, I felt like everyone knew about Epstein. We would see things in tabloids about Epstein. This was not a secret, right?
No, it wasn't. I've known about it since 2008, 2009.
Virginia and Prince Andrew. I was at my job. I remember so clearly the moment that it popped up on my computer screen, and I just kind of was taken aback. And I just immediately knew the truth behind that photo, and I felt the bravery of this woman who was taking on the world with this story and was being met with such...
It has already passed the Senate, quesadilla.
Respect.
It has already passed the Senate. Trump has said he will sign it. We'll see. We'll see what kind of maneuvering is going to happen. It passed the Senate with unanimous consent. It passed the House with only one person voting against it. His name is Representative Clay Higgins.
Breaking news now. The bill to release the Justice Department's files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein now headed to President Trump's desk. And after months of opposition to it, he now says he will sign it. Both the House and the Senate moved to swiftly approve the bill today. Eyewitness News reporter Ron.
It's been mind-blowingly fast.
Yeah, swiftly really doesn't do it justice. The House voted nearly unanimously, and the Senate essentially passed the bill before it even arrived in its chambers. Now it's up to President Trump to sign it, which could happen tomorrow morning. But there are still questions whether the entire Epstein
sure it will
go public. For months, House Republicans fought to keep the Epstein files buried. Today,
the bill is passed.
Nearly
Ponder Monkey
for the Justice Department to release the files. A complete 180 coming after President Donald Trump encouraged them to pass the bill.
It is veto proof. They could
survivors.
They could override a veto.
Who believes in
He could pocket veto it though.
Fairness.
Just not sign it.
Of justice.
Survivors of Epstein demanding the now sealed files be released, holding up photos of what they look like when they were abused.
This was me at 14 years old. I was a child. I was in...
It's Trump.
He stole a lot from me.
And then this afternoon, a surprisingly quick move by the Senate. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer requesting unanimous consent.
And getting it.
Now passed the Epstein bill as soon as it comes over from the House.
And it automatically passes the Senate without any changes. Well, once that happens, the president would have to sign it. Democrats, though, pointing out that Trump can quite easily make the files public immediately.
I want to remind the president as well that he has the power to release the files today. He has the power to release the files without a vote.
Trump has been mentioned repeatedly in many of the recently released Epstein documents. And even though he has said he would sign the bill if it makes it to his desk, he has been dodging questions about his reasons for not releasing the entire tranche of files right now, often attacking the journalists asking about it.
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter.
And again this morning when ABC's Mary Bruce asked about the files.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. And I'll tell you something.
Well, I think you're a terrible president. A terrible human being.
Meantime, a full release of the Epstein files can still be avoided. Trump has ordered a new investigation into relationships between Democrats and Epstein, and that could provide a legal rationale for the DOJ to withhold some of the files. And today's House vote spurring a lot of interest into the only congressperson to vote against the bill. It was Republican Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a fervent Trump supporter. He says he voted no because the bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people like witnesses.
But it doesn't.
Provided alibi.
Which is the weirdest thing because all of the Epstein victims that we just saw were for the bill being released. Globus, welcome in. Welcome, Raiders. My name is JustinFREAKIN. We find out what that news be doing Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I've got a cat on me. You guys all want to see a cat, I'm sure. Welcome in, everybody. If you're not familiar with me, I'm JustinFREAKIN. I have a fun little song that sums it all up. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked, sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news be doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana, colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the call.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quit panic, attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jumping discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Whatever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
Right-wingers are morons.
Light one it and hit one back. One more click before we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
So to recap, we be talking about the Epstein bullshit. Earlier today, the House and Senate both passed the Epstein discharge petition. It could be signed by Trump any minute now, but it's not going to be because he's having dinner with Prince Bonesaw currently. And we watched that earlier, and Melania walked in. I thought her ass was looking mighty fine. Chat disagreed with me, clinically said it was a 4 out of 10. What you gonna do? Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is, I guess, trying to get on my good side. She wants to be my GOP mommy now. Greene says she is done with Trump's Epstein bullshit.
I only take people's actions seriously. No longer words. And I'll tell you, because I wasn't a Johnny-come-lately to the MAGA train. I was day one 2015, and there's a big difference in those Americans.
She was day one getting run train on.
Support President Trump later on, and I'll tell you right now, this has been one of the most destructive things to MAGA, is watching the man that we supported early on, 3 elections, for people that stood hours, slept in their cars to go to rallies, have fought for truth and transparency and to hold what we consider a corrupt government accountable. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart. And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other. That's where we are today. Thank you.
And I also want to thank the courage of two of my colleagues in particular. Both of them have suffered, as you know, extraordinary political consequences for what they did. One, my colleague, Congressman Thomas.
I can't believe they censored bullshit.
If he hadn't led the discharge petition that got 218 signatures and is going to force a vote in the House of Representatives. And this would not have certainly been possible if it were not for the courage of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She signed the petition, and I would keep texting Thomas, is she going to drop off? Is she going to drop off? Because there was so much pressure against us, so much attacks against her. But she stood with the survivors.
So we had long odds, but we had some brave women on the Republican side. My colleague Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of them who's here with us today. You cannot even imagine the consequences that they have suffered. My colleague Lauren Boebert and my colleague Nancy Mace, they stood so strong. They put their names on a document in here, and then they were pressured in ways that you cannot even imagine, and they stood strong. And that's why we're here today. And they didn't take us seriously.
He rapes women, children, and farm animals.
Because they always thought they could flip one of these
Donald
women,
Trump is a horse fucker. You heard it here.
Intimidate them into taking their names off of this petition. But they did not succeed. This is a victory for those women and women all over the country today, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
They are not victims. These women have fought the most horrific fight that no woman should have to fight, and they did it by banding together and never giving up. And that's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first.
What's funny is she's a traitor, but you know,
in a primary, and I've never
for standing by Trump,
but I fought for him
not for doing this,
and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
I want to kick this off right, and I want to address Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and Rokana. I want to express my gratitude for all three of you, and I know, Rokana, we spoke earlier. This is an incredible thing that I'm watching as a Republican, and this is non-political. But for you to go against your own party and to be ostracized, there's no place for political violence. There's no place for intimidation.
You'd think that'd make you not a Republican anymore.
Epstein and his crimes against children, we have all experienced that ourselves. So for you to knowingly put yourselves at risk and put your career at risk is unbelievable to watch, and we are so grateful. I also want to make a proposition for Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you've been an advocate for this. If you decide to read those names on the House floor for immunity, I will be more than happy. No security needed. I will stand beside you. I will hold your hand. I will hold your coat in solidarity with you.
Do it.
And on top of that, I did talk to Jayapal, who said she would be more than happy to read those names too on the floor with all of us.
Yes.
It's time that we put the political agendas and party affiliation.
Name names. That's what we want.
This is a human issue. This is about children. There is no place in society for exploitation, sexual crimes, or exploitation of women in society.
We want names. We want names.
We're not having it.
Well, we've been having it for a while. Hopefully it is coming to an end. Poll numbers for Donald Trump amidst this Epstein scandal. Let's go to our boy Harry Enton.
Today, the House will finally vote to force the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files from the Justice Department. President
Hey, she's kind of cute.
says that he will sign that bill if it reaches his desk. It is quite a 180 and reversal from the stance that he had just a few days ago and held for.
Release the Bubba clips.
Republican leaders were bracing last week for many Republican members to vote in support of the files. And now, with Trump's blessing, it's expected to receive even more Republican support. What are the numbers behind this? CNN's Harry Enton is running the numbers for you on this. Why were Republicans willing, from the numbers that you see, on this one to go against what Donald Trump wanted?
You know,
I'm actually right.
His pulse on the Republican base, but he did not on this issue. Because what are we talking about, Kate Baldwin? Well, GOP on the Epstein files. Approve of Trump. We're used to seeing approval of Trump among Republicans being 85, 90%. But when it came to the Epstein files, look at this. Just 44%, south of 50% of Republicans actually approved on Donald Trump when it came to the Epstein files. Compare that to this. What was the percentage of Republicans that wanted all of the Epstein files released? 67%. So what we were dealing with is simple mathematics. The Republican base was against Donald Trump on the Epstein files. They were with the idea of releasing them. The Republican representatives saw that and therefore were not afraid to go against Donald Trump, because this was the rare instance in which the Republican base was not with Donald Trump. They were actually with the idea of being against Donald Trump and releasing the Epstein files.
And one way that you have long been able to kind of gauge, at least if people are really interested in something, is how you're gauging on Google searches. What has that shown over the last?
Yeah, what is that showing? You know, back in July, there was this idea, there was this push, right, to release the Epstein files, and Mike Johnson said, you know what, I'm sending the House home, adios amigos, goodbye. There was interest in it, but not to the degree that we're seeing right now. Okay, Google searches for Jeffrey Epstein versus a week ago, up nearly 1,200%. That we have seen more searches over the last 5-day period for Jeffrey Epstein than any 5.
I've contributed greatly to that because I've had multiple thumbnails that had Jeffrey Epstein. So I've searched Google for Jeffrey Epstein numerous times over the last few weeks.
Day period this entire year, much more so than we saw even in July, and more than that, the top associated.
I've also searched for Bubba.
Jeffrey Epstein was Donald Trump. This problem, simply put, was not going away. So what you were dealing with was many Republicans unhappy with how Trump was dealing with the Epstein files, many Republicans wanting those Epstein files released, and more than that, it was climbing in the interest levels, so it wasn't going away. So
came up with that classic.
Representatives were saying, jailbreak time, adios amigos.
Hop, skip, and go naked.
To release those files long before Donald Trump even said, you know what, you should release them all.
What are you seeing in terms of what people think really are the chances that the files will be released now?
Okay, so we're going to hold this House vote, right? And we expect that a lot of House Republicans are going to say
all of them except one.
Problem insofar as getting them released, that is one of the biggest problems is the United States Senate. They may not even vote on it, and so here we go. This is, I think, a good sort of.
Hello, thank you for throwing out the gift sub.
Donald Trump actually released any more Epstein files before the end of his second term. On Saturday, it was 50%. Now Trump says, you know, we should release them all. If a bill gets to my desk, I would sign it. But even so, it's still 72%. So majority chance that we will see more Epstein files. I think it's a good use of the prediction markets because it's conventional wisdom baseline where people are putting their money. But it's still far less than 100% because, hey, look, we got to still wait and see if the United States Senate actually gets a vote on this.
The Senate voted on it.
Need to happen before
they passed it.
It's good to see you, Harry. Thank you so much.
Kate.
John.
All right, with us now is Lisa Bloom, a victim's rights.
Oh, shut up, Lisa. They mentioned it in one of the pieces that we were watching earlier. Trump snapped at a ABC reporter that asked about the Epstein files earlier today.
I don't know. Mr. President, what?
This is when he was hanging out with MBS. He's having dinner with MBS currently, Prince Bonesaw.
For Congress to release the Epstein files. Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate.
Who's highly respected? You?
You could even ask that same exact question nicely.
You?
Psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is,
you're a child rapist.
Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going.
I talked about Larry Summers before I got to you, you fucker.
Is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. But he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax. And ABC's, your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
I'm blinded by all the gaudy gold in the
The
background.
license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go.
Well, you didn't win a landslide, so.
Received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep, the fund guy, was with him all the time.
The fun guy.
Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation.
That's the Netflix guy, isn't it?
And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you. Who else has a question?
To be fair, the emails, like the ones that we saw, were while he was running for president. I'm sure a lot of us talked about Trump during that time, and they were friends with him. So because a lot of the emails do indicate that there were sour grapes between the two of them. This is Representative Salazar, Maria Salazar, I think. She's a Republican. Listen to her defend Trump's. This is a completely different clip of Trump being rude to a reporter.
For those people who don't know, you're a former journalist. You have interviewed past presidents. You interviewed Bill Clinton, George W. Bush. I was really curious in your response when I saw this clip of President Trump snapping at a female reporter asking questions about Epstein. This happened a few days ago on Air Force One before President Trump reversed his stance on releasing the Epstein files. Take a look.
Sir, is there something incriminating in the files,
Now, I know it's loud because of Air Force One, but the reporter says if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir, why not take? And he says, "Quiet, piggy." What was your response to that?
You know, President Trump is a very picturesque and difficult and different type of politician. But I always say that I look at his policies and not at his personality. No one is perfect.
Policies.
Those who are perfect are in heaven. That's why I am saying to him, because you have that personality and you have that fortitude and you dare to do things that other people do not dare to do, you are the guy who needs to fix immigration for this country for the benefit of the average American worker and for the economy. If immigration is not fixed by him, it will take another 40 years for a Democrat, for a Republican to dare to do it. So that's why it just gave me the perfect platform to say to him, you are the guy. You dare to do things that others don't dare to fix.
What is that jacket?
Republican Congresswoman Maria Salazar of Florida, thank you so much.
I feel like rich assholes spend a lot of time trying to look like they're poor. Is that what that jacket is? It's human skin. Oh my god. She's got somebody in her basement that puts the lotion. It's only $600? I would have thought it would have been more. I don't know that she knows what she's talking about, working gal. So, Trump not the only person that looks bad in these emails. A lot of people look bad, including some Democrats. One of those Democrats is Delegate Stacey Plaskett. She's one of the non-voting members of Congress from the Virgin Islands. She apparently texted with Epstein during a hearing where Michael Cohen testified in 2019.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving...
So, yeah, my camera's covering it up. From Jeffrey Epstein, are you chewing?
Through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people...
She said, not anymore.
Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You as my friend, Mr. Meadows,
Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets.
has pointed out misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you?
Plaskett texted Rona.
The record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question: you helped out the president.
Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?
It's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman. Even in your words today, it was your idea for the campaign dating.
Epstein says that's his assistant.
Accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So, Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
Uh-huh. You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's...
Epstein texted back, good work.
That went on.
So if I had to guess, I would assume that, he was providing information to Congress, that she was doing her job as a congressperson. We're going to get her statement on it momentarily. Representative Clay Higgins, the only representative to vote against the release of the Epstein files, has the audacity to demand censure for Delegate Stacey Plaskett.
And the chair would remind all members to please avoid engaging in personalities to direct our comments to the chair. The gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
I thank my colleague, Mr. Norman from South Carolina, and I thank my colleague, Mr. Raskin, for the salient points that he has brought to this debate. I also defended George Santos on this floor and opposed the means by which he was expelled. I think it was beyond the pale, and this is
yeah, you would.
Responsibility that
what a day to be Clay Higgins
in this body is to determine the means by which our colleagues shall be reprimanded or disciplined. And the Constitution is clear on this. My friend, Mr. Raskin, knows.
I've never heard one, Dougie.
Controls the means by which and the rules by which the members of Congress shall be disciplined. So we've had variances of opinions regarding, the exact disciplinary actions that should be embraced or rejected, member by member. But let me say that in this case, Ms. Plaskett's receiving text messages, this was so alarming to me. When I saw this and read it, I didn't believe it.
Kind of humorous to me.
I say to my friend, I thought perhaps it was
Hey, Byronic.
from a satirical site. It couldn't possibly be true, because we all know that a text message, a text exchange is rather intimate in the realm of communications. And to pierce into an actual congressional hearing for a member of Congress to receive and respond to a text message during a hearing, that is quite...
Oh, because he's totally like an online troll.
And this was shocking to me, that a member of Congress would be exchanging text messages directly with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019, at which time he was being prosecuted federally by the first Trump administration. He had received...
Yeah, wouldn't he have been in jail at the time?
...deal back in 2007 and avoided federal prosecution by pleading no contest to some level of state prosecution, where he was sentenced, Mr. Speaker, to 13 months. My understanding, he did 11 months.
Oh, it was before he's busted?
The easiest time that could be done. He walked every day during the day on a work release program. So that sweetheart deal, let me say, should be looked at. And now, to my horror, who has come to light that should be looked at? What was her involvement? Was there some involvement then? She's a good lady from the Virgin Islands. Where did Jeffrey Epstein live? In the Virgin Islands. She was a constituent in 2019. Was she a friend in 2007? During her service to the DOJ, which my friend has brought up, was there any interactions? These are the questions we have. The good lady from the Virgin Islands has crossed the threshold of reasonable suspicion, and therefore she should be investigated. During said investigation by ethics, and I would recommend by DOJ, and I would recommend by oversight and judiciary committees. Meanwhile, she should absolutely be removed from the House Select Committee on Intel. This, Mr. Speaker, is my position. I presented without note for the betterment of the debate of this body, and I yield my time back to the gentleman from South.
He defended George Santos, a man who actually did crimes, and he's acting indignant about Delegate Plaskett, who committed no crime as far as I can tell, was just texting a pedophile. It's kind of sus, but, you know, if he is giving her information, if he is basically like a witness, a material witness to the hearing, and she is gathering information, that's kind of reasonable. That's within the scope of her job. But let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
You heard. I yield 6 minutes now to the distinguished gentlelady from Virgin Islands, Representative Plaskett.
Thank you so much to Mr. Raskin, to my former professor in law school, and I want to address the body. I first want to give you all a sense of what was happening that day. Everyone knows at that hearing in February, the entire country was watching. As Michael Cohen decided he was going to finally give up information about what was happening in the Trump world, the Trump enterprise. And at the beginning of that hearing, the ranking member, Jim Jordan, had the disrespect to Elijah Cummings, may he rest in peace and his name be a memory, after not allowing Mr. Jordan to shut the committee hearing down. And I turned to Mr. Jordan and told him to have respect for the chair. and to basically shut up. And that moment went viral. And I began to get innumerable texts from friends, from foes, from constituents about what was happening in that hearing. And I got a text from Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time was my constituent, who was not public knowledge at that time that he was under federal investigation.
It was public knowledge that he was a fucking pedophile, though. You don't get to come in here and be like, oh, it wasn't public knowledge. I didn't know he wasn't a pedophile.
And who was sharing information with me. Now, I heard...
That's it. That's perfectly reasonable.
Taking advice from him. Let me tell you something.
Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Don't give me that bullshit about it wasn't public knowledge who he was at the time. But if he is sharing information with you, that is perfectly reasonable within your scope of work as a congressperson or a delegate in this case.
I don't need to get advice on how to question anybody from any individual. I have been a lawyer for 30 years. I have been a narcotics prosecutor in New York City.
Well, ma'am, that makes me hate you.
Of being a
I am pro-drug.
Justice Department after September 11th as a Republican appointee in the Bush administration. I know how to question individuals. I know how to seek information. I have sought information from confidential informants, from murderers, from other individuals, because I want the truth, not because I need them to tell me what to say. And if you look at the transcript, you will see that I questioned Michael Cohen for 5 minutes. The Washington Post only shows you 30 seconds and takes from it one individual's name that I got from Jeffrey Epstein and didn't know who the individual was, and put that individual with a host of other individuals that I felt the committee should subpoena. They've never been subpoenaed. They've never been questioned. Because at the end of the day, I know that in the Trump administration and with my colleagues over there, it's not about sexual assault. It's not about support of victims. It's about money. It is about money. I have consistently stood against sexual violence and the exploitation of women and children in previous careers as well as here in this body. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein's actions were absolutely reprehensible. As a constituent, as an individual who gave donations to me, when I learned of the extent of his actions after his investigation, I gave that money to women's organizations in my community. Not back to him, but to women in the community who needed that support. That's what I think should have been done, and that's what I did. They've taken a text exchange which shows no participation, no assistance, no involvement in any illegal activity, and weaponized it for political theater, because that's what this is. This has been reviewed by federal courts. Any charges, victims who initially had a case against me dismissed it on their own without prejudice. You don't want to talk about what is really happening here. Your attacks on working families, your protection of powerful predators and corporate criminals. You want to talk about texting felons? How often do you text President Donald J. Trump?
Ooh.
That's the individual we should be concerned about. And let me tell you this. I am not going to support the wealthy and connected who continue to exploit workers and evade taxes, powerful figures with credible allegations who face no consequences, and corporate interests profiting from human suffering while families struggle. And let me tell the people of the Virgin Islands.
Tell us about it.
Gentleman will state his point of order.
The point of order is you may not call the President of the United States a felon.
He is.
That is a violation.
Point of order is under consideration, and we're not going to lose order here either, so please.
May I continue? May I continue, Mr.
Members
Speaker?
are.
Can't call the president a felon. What the fuck?
As mentioned a little while ago, from making personality.
Not an attack on his personality. It's a statement of fact.
The point of order is not timely, so the gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is happening here? I feel sorry for my colleagues. I feel sorry for this body. I see members coming and speaking against me who I've never even had a conversation with. You don't know me. You don't know the work that I've done. You don't know the support that I've given to families, to individuals, to support people.
You don't know me.
A full-time job with children under the age of 5, going to school, law school at night. Do you think I would risk my law degree for any individual? Never mind a reprehensible individual by Jeffrey Epstein, I would not. But what I'm about is the truth.
Stupid?
And let me tell the people of the Virgin Islands, this attempt at intimidation will pass. We in the Virgin Islands do not back down from a fight. That is how we won our freedom, and that is how we will continue to grow our equality. And if you censure me, take away a committee, I will still do the work because I am here to support people and to support this great Constitution, which I have sworn numerous times to uphold.
We reserve.
And technically, she didn't call him a felon. Tones pointed out. She said, "Tell me about texting felons. How often do you text President Trump?" She literally referred to him as President Trump. Guys, Paris Hilton says she does not remember meeting Ghislaine Maxwell.
Paris Hilton is speaking out today about a report that she was targeted by Jeffrey Epstein's recruiter, the notorious Ghislaine Maxwell. It happened 25 years ago when Paris was just 19. She was apparently spotted at a party during Fashion Week here in New York. Paris was an up-and-coming it girl at the time and allegedly caught Ghislaine Maxwell's eye.
Ghislaine said, "Oh my God, who's that?" And my friend said, "Yeah, she's called Paris Hilton." And Ghislaine said, "Oh, God, she'd be perfect for Jeffrey. Could you introduce us?"
Asked about the report, Paris tells the London Times, "I don't even remember ever meeting her. But we've discovered this photo, snapped that night, September 18th, 2000.
Bullshit.
Shows Paris and Maxwell together with Donald Trump. Paris had just signed with Trump's modeling agency.
I was 14 years old. I was 16 years old. I was 16. 17. 14 years old.
Today, several Epstein survivors are coming together in a new PSA as they urge Congress to vote to release the Epstein files.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadows. It's time to shine a light into the darkness.
Their wish may come true this week, as President Trump has given up his fight to keep the files under wraps by the Justice Department.
They show him defeated walking off Air Force One.
From this Democrat hoax. His surprising U-turn comes after a bitter falling out with firebrand Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wacky, a ranting lunatic, and Marjorie Trader Greene.
Well, I mean, broken clock, right?
And that is so extremely wrong, and those are the types of words used that can radicalize
her fifis
against me and put my life in danger.
Her daughter Lauren posted, "Please pray for my mom's safety."
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Trader Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Wow, that was good. Let them fight. Trump met with Prince Bonesaw earlier today, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, the country that committed 9/11. This man here ordered the dismemberment of a U.S. citizen journalist, Jamal Khashoggi.
U.S. President Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet Tuesday for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In his first White House visit in more than 7 years, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler sought to further rehabilitate his global image.
In more than 7 years, who was president then? Oh shit.
After the 2018 killing of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi, while deepening ties with Washington. During questions in the Oval Office, Trump defended bin Salman on the topic.
A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that.
That effectively contradicts the conclusions of U.S. intelligence agencies, who concluded that bin Salman approved the capture or killing of Khashoggi. Bin Salman has denied ordering the operation, but acknowledged responsibility as the kingdom's de facto ruler. He also addressed the killing to reporters on Tuesday.
We've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Topics discussed between the two leaders included security ties, civil nuclear cooperation, and multi-billion-dollar business deals with the kingdom.
Remember that dipshit I had in here? Not to be confused with dip. The dipshit. That was talking about some people did some things, the Ilhan Omar quote. It was calling her a horrible human being because of it. I was like, you're taking that completely out of context. Whereas this is Trump literally doing that. Some things happened.
Trump announced an agreement that Saudi Arabia would invest $600 billion in the United States, while the Saudi Crown Prince promised to up that investment to $1 trillion. It all underscores how much of a priority Trump has made of ties with Saudi Arabia, as uproar over Khashoggi fades. Andrew Lieber is a political science assistant professor at Tulane University.
I think the Trump administration is much more transactional with respect to Saudi Arabia. As with the first term for President Trump, there's really no emphasis on human rights. So that's much less of an obstacle
for violating human rights here at home.
Trump also said on Tuesday that the U.S. would sell F-35 stealth fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, in a similar arrangement it has with Israel, in what Trump described as a defense agreement. The move marks a significant policy shift, which could alter the military balance in the Middle East.
Jamal Khashoggi's widow was on with, I think this is CBS. CBS News.
With Jamal Khashoggi's widow, Hanan Atalar Khashoggi, about President Trump's remarks downplaying.
Major Garrett sounded like he's having a stroke there.
Here's our conversation. Earlier, I spoke with Jamal Khashoggi's widow, Hanan Atalar Khashoggi, about President Trump's remarks downplaying.
It was painful.
The Crown Prince's role in the killing of her husband. Here's our conversation.
You gotta do what I do, Major.
The White House today.
Just plow through it and act like you did it right.
What was your gut reaction?
I did feel disappointed by describing my husband in this way and kind of justify the crime. There is nothing to justify the crime, even if you don't agree or like certain person because of his opinion or vision for his country. To say he's controversial and he's unlikely, it does not give anyone right to just kidnap him, torture him, kill him, and dismantle his body. Yes, and it did hurt me a lot. And it's taken away as well. It's look like taking away the freedom for the journalists to do their job. And it will be...
To ask the question.
To ask the question. And it will be, what is the difference then between U.S. and any dictatorship Middle Eastern country?
We'll get to what the Crown Prince said in a moment, but the president, referring to the Crown Prince, said he knew nothing about it. How did you react when you heard the president say that?
It was so devastated for me as well, because the Crown Prince himself, he did accountability in 60 Minutes interview in 2019. He said, I'm responsible as a leader, but he did not do anything beyond that. He admitted verbally He took responsibility verbally, but he did not take any action to show the world there is a rectifying of this crime. I'm talking about the action should be taken, transparent trial for the 18 man who performed the crime. And I did not receive an official apology myself as a wife. They destroyed my life, they taken my lover, and they killed me with my husband. I have 7 years of hell, sir. And they did not even look after me, and they used a spy material in me before I fled from Middle East to US. All of this not being rectified. If he take accountability verbally in 60 minutes, there is things need to be done to show really he's accountable for it. There is an action behind this verbal accountability, which did not happen.
You just said 7 years of hell.
It is.
What do you mean by that?
It's been 7 years, Major.
They inverted my life, infiltrated my devices. They watched Jamal through me. This is what I discovered when I came to America after I cooperated with the Pegasus project with the Washington Post. They seek my help, which is I did help. And I discovered they was watching me since 2017. Away before they killed Jamal to track him, because we saw
the Saudis were watching you.
Emirati by Bush. I grown up in Dubai. Yes,
but in collaboration with the Saudis.
Absolutely. Why Emirati will watch me? I was a cabin crew with Emirates for 22 years. I'm not a public figure or a politician to be watched.
She's a cutie too.
My husband, because I'm a closest one to my husband. I was sharing his mission and vision. I'm the one that was supporting him in his exile. I was speaking up, putting in my social media, but it's fire back in me. They choose to destroy my life. They detained me many times in Dubai. I've been put in under house arrest. I've been tortured until I decided to flee to America.
And then they killed your husband.
And killed my husband and make my life hell. I'm isolated. I'm living away from my family. And it is very painful for me, sir. Today is the most painful day for me as well.
I want to read to you what the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, released in an unclassified form in February 2021. Quote,
she's spilling her heart out, and Garrett's being pretty
Mohammed bin Salman approved an operation
clinical
in Istanbul, Turkey, to capture or kill.
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
We base this assessment on
can't go back to Constantinople
in the kingdom. The direct involvement of
I'm sorry. I saw They Might Be Giants last night in concert. That's why I wasn't on.
A key advisor and members of Mohammed bin Salman's protective detail in the operation. And the Crown Prince.
And it was awesome.
Violent measures to silence dissidents abroad, including Khashoggi. That's the U.S. government. How do you know this?
My lawyer, she did read the report. I did not read it myself, which is... It's very painful for me if they taken this decision. I'm not sure 100% the order being given by the Crown Prince himself, because I don't have the tools, I don't have that intelligence, I don't have a country to support me to dig in and to make sure. But I believe the crime has happened. There is a lot of things have to be shown to show the world they regret, and there is some change, vital change to be happened to show the world, yeah, we're not going to this crime again.
You can watch the rest of my interview with Hanan Al-Attar Khashoggi on YouTube.
I don't think I will, Major. You weren't very good at it. I appreciate you trying, though. Trump is willing to have talks with the leaders from Venezuela, but also still might attack it as well.
Tensions continue to escalate after U.S. strikes on suspected drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. While taking questions in the Oval Office just yesterday, President Trump said he is not ruling out military action inside Venezuela. The president's comments come as the nation's most advanced warship sits on the waters of the Caribbean. It is the latest addition to the U.S. growing military fleet, and troops in the region are putting pressure on Venezuela. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us live from Puerto Rico. Charlie, good to see you today. We just got.
Why would you need to remain silent? I don't understand.
Warns of a potentially hazardous situation in San Juan, Puerto Rico, flight information region due to an increase in state aircraft operations. Sounds really confusing, Charlie. So can you explain what a NOTAM is and just how serious this is?
Yeah, D'Agata.
It's not.
Well, a NOTAM is a notice to airmen, and it's something that you absolutely have to take seriously because essentially that's a notice to pilots to say, look, there is an increased frequency, increased congestion in the airs, and it kind of stands to the reason. It doesn't necessarily serve as a precursor to...
Oh, no, that means you owe her a Coke.
When I've been in parts of the Middle East and there have been NOTAMs issued there, sometimes 1 or 2 days later you'll see airstrikes. In this particular case, we don't want to be that alarmist, but it just underlines the amount of military firepower that is now in this region. So we went to the Roosevelt Roads Naval Base yesterday. F-35s are flying there all the time out of Puerto Rico. Now we've got the USS Gerald R. Ford. It's got 4 squadrons of F-18 fighter jets.
Not the Jerry Ford.
That those are in action, which may be what has impacted or triggered this NOTAM. So it certainly is something to pay attention to, certainly if you're a pilot, to be aware of and to have this increased awareness, especially around that San Juan area. I'm surprised that it was specific to that area about San Juan because all of this is happening here in Puerto Rico and, of course, in the seas off Puerto Rico as well. Some guy's chasing down his dog behind me. And the seas around Puerto Rico, it simply means there's a lot of aircraft in the air. And in addition to that, we just learned this today, the mayor of Aguadilla, there's a base there, a U.S. base, and that's where the Reaper drones are based. And he said these things are taking off all the time, and those are armed with Hellfire missile. So I think if you put that whole composite picture together, that may have been the reason that notice went out, that NOTAM, notice to airmen, of just be on your guard around this area.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And Charlie, I understand you talked to a local mayor. What did they say, and what have you been seeing out there in terms of ships and also troops?
Yes, well, you can't even make it out, but right behind me is a U.S. Navy supply ship, and that's a ship that they would come into dock. It just came in this morning, and that would refuel, and then it would take fuel to the warships that are now out in the seas around this region. So we're seeing that kind of activity. A couple of days ago, we saw a guided missile cruiser pull up in St. Thomas. St. Croix. So many islands. And the F-35s that are taking off, those are the things that we're seeing. But in addition to that, over in Trinidad and Tobago, the U.S. military, in this case the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, those are Marines, they have been running drills and practices too. So we're aware of that, and we have seen some images come out of the 22 MEU, the Marine Expeditionary Unit. Those are being released by Southern Command. So we're seeing some of that. We haven't been getting much access to it. We persist. We want to get to these areas here in Puerto Rico. They're running training drills in Santiago. So all of this is taking place. Some of it we can see with our own eyes. We're hoping to see those Reaper drones tomorrow. The F-35s are in plain sight, and you see the warships coming by. So you can absolutely feel the frequency in the atmosphere is rising. And some people here on the island, they're happy to see U.S. forces here. They feel better protected. They insist that Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. After all, I'm a little bit worried that should there be strikes inside Venezuela, or as you mentioned, President Trump has not ruled out...
That's not what I heard from all the people pissed off about the Super Bowl.
...in this region.
So much to keep your eye on out there. Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much for joining us today.
Over 80 people have been killed in strikes on suspected drug boats, which some people have called a crime against humanity. Some people might call the death of Jamal Khashoggi a crime against humanity. The torture and dismemberment of a man who had been exiled. I would like to think that we would take care of people who commit crimes against humanity in a sufficient manner like maybe the people of Bangladesh are now doing to their ex-prime minister who has been sentenced to death.
A court in Bangladesh is delivering a verdict in the trial of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She's facing charges of crimes against humanity. Security forces killed hundreds of people during a student-led uprising in July and August last year. Hasina is accused to have ordered the shootings. The protests ended Hasina's 15 years in office. She's been in exile in India since then. Let's go live to our correspondent on the ground in Dhaka, Tanvir Chowdhury. So a 50-page judgment being read for the last few hours, Tanvir. What do we know so far about this verdict?
Well, as of yet, the sentence actually been spelled out. And what we know so far from the courtroom is that Hasina has been found guilty in 2 counts. Probably there are 3 other counts. In 1 count, she's been found guilty and given life sentence. And in another count, she's been found guilty and given death sentence. As for the Home Minister, who is also absconding out of the country, he's been found guilty in 1 count and has been given death sentence. The former police chief, who's a key witness to the state, he has been shown leniency. He's found guilty in 1 count, but given only a sentence of 5 years. We will know more on the other 3 counts, what are the sentences, because they've been spelled out inside the court. We're getting ready for the chief prosecutor to address the press here very shortly, and the attorney general in the other gate, he's going to address the press shortly and make the formal announcement of the sentencing. So as of yet, the sentencing has been spelled out in the courtroom. We don't know full details, but she has been found at least guilty in
It's time for guillotine.
One is life sentence.
So
this is a remarkable day in Bangladesh. It's on the edge. The country is tense. There's heavy security everywhere, and people are anxious to know the full details of this verdict.
Indeed, and just to recap for our viewers, this is a 450-page judgment that's being read out in court today. And as you said, there are already some verdicts in on 2 counts. Sheikh Hasina, the former prime minister, sentenced to a life sentence, and then on another count, she's been sentenced to death, and we'll know the full details when this is read out officially. Talk to us about the mood in the country ahead of this verdict being announced, and the reactions we've heard so far, on these early decisions for Sheikh Hasina.
I think the U.S. should do something like this.
Well, we haven't been outside yet, but it's been very tense. There's very little traffic in the city. People are glued to the TV because it's been live telecasted, the proceeding. And there's been some trouble and disturbance across the country. Her supporters been out in streets, vandalizing vehicle in certain parts. People have been arrested. Even those against her were actually having a clash with the police in other part of the city because they wanted to destroy a property belonging to Sheikh Hasina in the suburban area, but the police stopped them, and that led to the clash. There's heavy security presence across the country, particularly in key point installation. It is on the edge. We still have to see how the supporters of Sheikh Hasina reacts after the verdict. Of course, she's not here. Her son made a statement in the press that they know what the state verdict will be, and he said it probably will be death sentence, but she's here, she's safe, and the Indian government will ensure her security. That's what her son, who also happened to have been an advisor in her government when she was in power.
Tanvir, let me ask you, what risks are there in terms of violence and retaliation from Hasina's supporters as a result of this verdict?
I don't have the bowl in here. I'll have to go out there and get it.
Well, last several days they've been...
I'll probably get it whenever we change programming.
Demonstration across the country, but it's been not so successful because of police.
Though there is some smoked potato salad in the fridge that I've been thinking about.
And a lot of...
I might need a snack soon.
Even members of the public stopped them from organizing themselves, and actually many of them were grabbed and handed over to the police. But there was attacks on buses, trucks, and other private vehicles across the country by our supporters, creating a sort of a tense situation all across, which is why you have less car in the streets also, because people apprehend some kind of trouble, or at least they'll try to mobilize and bring out demonstration or create disturbance. But at the same token, the student the July protest students, they're out in full gear outside in the streets, and they said, we'll make sure that her verdict is handed out, and we'll make sure she's extradited from India. We'll pressure India, we'll demonstrate in front of Indian High Commission. If needed, we'll force.
Krill says they can still snatch her if they really want to, and of course they can. MBS proved that. Did that exact thing to Jamal Khashoggi. Did you not see Maynard having a fit, Tones? He was very unhappy about it. Let me tell you. Oh, do you want me to grab the kitty again? He's pretty upset, but he's still sitting here beside me. The problem is, if I push my chair back, he's probably going to run. Yep, went under the bed. Nope, are you going to come back? Are you going to come back, buddy? Oh, hold on. Listen, guys. Okay, so I don't like keeping them, you know, cooped up in this room all the time. So I take them out for walks. You know, they're a huge fucking property out here. I have to harness them though, right? Well, except Maynard. We've figured out that Maynard doesn't work very well with a harness. So I just take Maynard out into the courtyard and let him just kind of roam around. Socks used to not use a harness, and we used to trust him, but now he just fucking, every time he jets and goes down, there's this tree that fell over during the storms a couple years ago, and it's like rotted out, and it's got all kinds of animals and shit, and fucking Socks loves that tree, so we can't just let him roam because he goes straight to that fucking tree and you can't get him out. But like I try to take Maynard out first, and he's having none of it. He gets so fucking pissed. So I take Socks and Smokey out. They have their time, and then later on in the afternoon, I'm like, okay, Maynard, do you want to go out now? Take him out, and I'm out there in the courtyard, and I'm just kind of like leaned up against the wall, hanging out, and he's sniffing, eating grass and shit. Curiouser walks by, and she's like freaked out that she's just seeing Maynard out in the courtyard. Don't know how he got out. She comes, oh, you're out here. So I decide I'm going to come in and make a sandwich. I'm like, hey, Maynard, you want to come in? He starts hissing at me, clawing at me. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll leave you out here for a little bit. You can hang out a little bit longer. So I go back in the house. I'm watching him from the inside. And he's just he's looking over at me, like just making sure. And he comes over to the door like he's wanting to come in. I'm like, all right. So, because there's like a little magnet net thing on the door. So I open it and I'm like, oh, come on in, buddy. And he's hissing at me and shit. I come back around, like kind of like nudging him from behind. I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. Finally got him in the house. He hisses all the way in. And then he sees Sunshine, which is Curiouser's biggest cat. Sunshine is fucking huge. And like the size of a Maine Coon. He's very long-haired. He's beautiful. But he sees Sunshine. And Maynard, who is a runt, he's fat. But he's a itty-bitty thing. He's a little like a Stimpy. He's a Stimpy cat. And he smacks the shit out of Sunshine. And then hisses his way on over to the door. I just open the door and let him in. I don't want to do news. I'm ready to do something else. We'll go ahead. We'll skip to crime stuff. How about that? Let's skip to crime stuff. Yeah, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to. We'll do neo-Nazis tomorrow. I don't want to do mass shooting. It's just another day of mass shooting USA. Let me put a poll in the chat. Let's figure out what we're gonna watch after we get out of here. Let's do I don't know. Let's do the neo-Nazi thing. You guys will like that. Let's do the neo-Nazi thing. We're going to meet the neo-Nazi targeting kids online.
It's one of those stories that was jaw-dropping even.
This is our boy Phil Williams from the Nashville station, News Channel 5.
And for me, when I stumbled across
I'll put my poll in the
as
chat.
I heard from the group of parents who joined us, most families have no idea that children are being targeted by adults who want to make them hate. For most parents, it's a hate that seems worlds away.
Oh my God, bro. You are a Jewish science experiment, bro.
But this hate is targeting your children.
Look at this Aryan Chad. Gonna hunt you down.
Targeting them.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! Let's go!
Inside their own bedrooms.
These young man! Woo! White power!
The man behind the videos.
You have a problem with Jews in general, though.
Yes, I do.
Is John Menadio, the same neo-Nazi we had confronted outside City Hall.
Oh yeah, I think we watched that.
Defense League created scenes like
that piece back in the day.
In the summer of 2024.
Back in the day, last year.
Even assaulting a young Jewish man in the dark of night.
All I know is I heard gunshots and I just ran out running. Yes, it was inside the school.
When a school shooting at Nashville's Antioch High School earlier this year left one student dead, another injured, the 17-year-old shooter left behind a manifesto that indicated he had been influenced at least partly by Menadio's hateful propaganda.
So what I do is I'm an entertainer, pro-white entertainer. I hate non-whites, okay?
Pro-white.
From his own racist website after being repeatedly banned from mainstream platforms, the Springfield, Missouri man makes money from other white supremacists who pay to cheer him on.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
How old are you?
I'm too old to be on this, but I'm warning women like you to stay away from these filthy.
As he goes into roulette-style video chat rooms.
How old are you?
I'm 12, about to be 13.
Where he often encounters children.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. How old are you?
10.
Awesome, man. Do you like?
No.
Good job. Yeah, white power to this.
We asked a group of parents to watch some of the clips with us to help us process what we were seeing.
Yeah! Don't get you shot, boy! Yeah! These
How Menadio's theatrics, including use of filters to change his appearance, have made him a celebrity among some kids, while others...
You'd be proud to be white and we're gonna bury you.
Stop just to take in his shocking displays of cruelty.
Well, listen, I was planning on shooting up like a black school.
Here, these young girls try to talk him out of the mass murder of innocent black children, while these young boys can barely contain their amusement over his overt racism.
More of this.
First reaction?
So sad.
It's sickening.
Yeah, it's sickening. But I can't believe that guy's whole thing is engaging with kids like that. That's just so pathetic.
Hey, whoa. I thought there was in your house.
Get the gun, get the gun.
Then there are the guns.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you shoot something?
No, I can't, but it's real.
Oh,
I'm gonna go kill for Charlie Kirk.
Will you take me with you?
And when he picks up that AR and he's putting it in the sky, again, there's another kind of
excitement, enthusiasm of, oh my gosh,
wild.
What I hear you saying is the gun is used as the hook to sell the hate.
Absolutely.
Is your dad in your life?
Here, Menadio tries to befriend a 12-year-old girl whose dad had died.
That's also so predatory.
Yes.
To ask, where's your dad? Like he's looking for the vulnerable kids that are going to be looking for the strong male influence. And here he comes in with his big, strong gun.
Absolutely.
And telling her dating advice and all of that. Like, that's just
like instant to
sick.
grooming, right? Like he found his way in, and
we need more kids like you on this website because we got to be pushing this white power. Okay.
And once he's made the connection, the neo-Nazi tries to get the white kids to come to his websites and become followers.
Read that for me. The headline.
Every single aspect of the media is Jewish.
I have one of those flyers on my desk at work. When the Going Defense League were in town last summer, they were distributing those pamphlets. That's what they were throwing on people's yards in the Jewish parts of town.
All of those are Jewish?
Yeah.
Fox?
Yeah.
Fox is Jewish?
Yes.
Yes. Comcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, Comcast.
How does it feel to see kids embracing his lies?
No, it's terrible because the guns, the racism, all those things are just props. So that once he gets them in, it's like, all right, now let's get to the good stuff, hating the Jews.
Look at me, boy. Listen, I got something for you, you little Holocaust survivor. Come survive this.
And when Menadio encounters children who are not white,
here's what it's going to come down to, okay? In all honesty, okay? You people are a bioweapon, okay?
The Goyim Defense League leader can be unbelievably cruel.
You look like an ugly
mocking a biracial teen.
Oh, but you look like your partner. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Man, that sucks, bro.
Calling him a Jewish science experiment. Eventually using a mucky doll.
Oh my God.
To act out the murder of a black baby. For Miriam Abulfazli, it was just too much to take.
Sorry.
It's evil.
You think about those that are being spewed hate on a platform like this, and even the biracial child was not willing to accept a part of him because he's like,
Flash,
I have this
welcome.
person in front of me that's telling me it's wrong. I have to believe it's
And he
wrong.
calls him sir.
I
And
know,
calls
that's
him
what I
the
caught. Yeah, he
respect
said
that was
that.
given.
Internalized that like that.
Like it just
Like
was, yeah,
that.
he didn't even flinch.
He was so vulnerable. He was so vulnerable because it was somewhere else in him. It was somewhere else around him. And that man just dug that hole deeper and filled it with his hate.
For this group of parents, it was a troubling reminder of the Antioch High School shooter who had somehow come to hate his own skin.
That kid was taught to hate himself and to hate others and killed them.
Is it fair to call this child abuse?
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
Now listen, you guys got to start playing with guns, okay? Joysticks. Joysticks are for
Adding to the horror, Menadio encourages the kids to get guns and prepare themselves to become killers.
All right, so you know what that means?
Elliot?
It's time to strap up and get ready for a complete race war. So here's what's coming, guys. Race war. White power, lead, okay? White power, lock and load, okay? You need to be at the shooting range. Get ready to kill.
For Sarah Shoup Newman, it brought back memories of the deadly day at Nashville's.
Oh, but Antifa is a terrorist group, guys.
From the halls of her child's school.
I was just utter depravity. I think about the evil that walked through the halls those days, and you can't comprehend it. You can't try to figure out why, and he's breeding it.
Lock and load! Lock and load on the toad! There you go.
And Menadio cheered on this teen, pretending he was shooting black people. Then the neo-Nazi mocked the tears of a grieving black parent.
A mother crying because their child has been taken. That's a pain that man will never understand.
Amber Posey lost her own daughter, Ashante, 5 years ago to gun violence.
Hearing him attempt and mimic or mock crying set me back to April the 9th of 2020 when I let out my own screams. When my child, when I had to tell her friends, her AAU coach, her siblings, call her grandmother, her great-grandfather and say that they're grandchild had been murdered, the first murdered victim in our family. And you make a mockery of that for clickbait, that's not okay. That's not okay.
I can't escape the financial factor. I can't.
And the people were giving it when like the worst parts came
that's
up.
why
You
he
see
does
the
it.
thing.
It's so clear to me.
Bam! Go feed right? Stop giving them money. Feed them bullets.
In these videos, these people see a man willing to take advantage of innocent young children for the payouts from his sick followers who thrive on that hate.
I'm all for free speech.
That's not
That's
speech.
not
This is a
those
crime.
are
This
threats.
is exploitation of
Those are
minors.
actual threats.
Yes.
Let's go kill him, bro. Let's go kill him.
Hunting season. Woo! All right, brother, you're getting it. How old are you?
John Manadio responded to my questions in a chat on X, insisting that he is not the problem. He said no one under the age of 18 is supposed to be on these video chat apps saying, and these are his words,
wow,
should blame their parents. Obviously, that's no excuse for his own conduct. He also said he offers a disclaimer on his podcast that he does this, quote, for entertainment purposes only.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Disavows any violence. Of course, that's not something he tells any of the children about.
And Phil, I feel like many parents are watching this and asking.
This is called the Batman Building in Nashville. It was vandalized over the weekend.
What app is he using?
Yeah, that's probably the most important takeaway we can bring tonight. The main one is something called OME TV, although there are others. One is called Monkey. I checked them out.
OME TV?
There are a lot of kids there. Parents really need to check their children's.
I need to get on this platform
tonight. From what I saw,
go corrupt the youth myself.
Any place that any child should ever be.
Omegle?
And
I've never heard of it.
Everything we just saw, you found that it appears he's still not doing anything illegal?
Not that we can tell at all.
Unbelievable. All right, we know you're going to stay on top of this story.
Find him and debate him.
One. As we mentioned, this is part of Phil's ongoing Confronting Hate investigation.
Okay, Twitch people, I gave you like the wildest poll for what to watch after the stream or after the news. I tried to mix it up. I put Bob's Burgers in because that's always a crowd pleaser. So I wanted to give you like one crowd pleaser. And then everything else is just wild off the wall shit. If you guys end up on Dark Side of the Ring, I assure you wrestling fans, or I assure you non-wrestling fans, you will enjoy it. And I almost certainly will play the New Jack one. And if you don't know who New Jack is, holy shit, are you in for a treat? Sparkles, not a wrestling fan. When New Jack died, I played her the New Jack Dark Side of the Ring. Every story New Jack tells begins with him being like, I smoking crack in the back. It's amazing. Bob's Burgers might be running away with it, though. David, the singer who apparently just broke big this past year, might be in a little trouble.
Now to some breaking news. Singer David now considered a suspect in the death investigation of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. A source with knowledge of the investigation telling Eyewitness News the 14-year-old was found dead on September 8th in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer. After investigators found the remains, the LAPD executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. We still don't know how or when the teenager died. Sources are telling ABC News David is not cooperating with the investigation and has never cooperated despite what his PR reps have claimed. We will have more on these breaking developments throughout the afternoon on Eyewitness News, on air and online.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite show ever. If there was enough interest, I would totally do a complete watch through with you guys. Like pick a night and we will do Curb Your Enthusiasm all the way through if you wanted to. If there was interest for it. Our boy P. Diddy not going to be getting out of jail, 4.5 years? Not going to be getting out of jail in 4.5 years, whatever it is.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs facing more time behind bars. His release date pushed back to June of 2028 instead of May of that same year. The news coming after reports of Combs drinking in prison, something he denies, after he was accepted into a rehab program in prison that could have reduced his sentence by up to a year. He's also been accused of making a prohibited three-way phone call from prison. Here to make sense of it all, NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas and defense attorney and friend to Top Story, Sarah Azari.
Oh, we don't need talking heads on this. I guess I could have played the Pluribus trailer before I put it on a list, because then that might have intrigued you guys. It is the new show from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul creator Vince Gilligan.
Good morning, Carol. Is there anything we could do to cheer you up? We just want you to be.
Oh, I'm probably going to get copyright claim on this.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly. What would you like?
Because that fucking song. I think it's wrong that you can get copyright claims from trailers. Diddy not just drinking inside of prison, he might have been diddling inside of prison. New allegations against one Mr. P. Diddy.
The LA County Sheriff's Department says it is looking into new allegations of sexual assault against Sean Combs. Investigators received a report Friday from the Largo, Florida Police Department, where the alleged victim lives. In that report, a man claims Combs sexually assaulted him in 2020. Music producer Jonathan Hay.
Oh, this isn't new. Okay.
He filed the report. Hay says he's also a John Doe in a civil lawsuit filed against Combs. Combs is currently serving 50 months in a New York prison on prostitution-related charges.
All right, we're going to watch Dark Side of the Ring, and believe me, if you're not a wrestling fan, you will still enjoy the show. It is made for non-wrestling fans. It is very entertaining. They are, because a lot of the stories in wrestling, holy shit, the stories outside the ring are sometimes way more entertaining than what they do inside the ring. Leftist, what would you have voted for? Would your vote have mattered? A woman was set on fire in Chicago on a Blue Line train.
Well, Ravi, sources tell me that detectives are looking into the possibility that the person of interest in this case is linked to another fire that broke out outside of City Hall this past Friday. That source says surveillance video from both incidents shows a general similarity in appearance. This as we wait to hear more from Chicago police investigators. As the peak of rush hour comes to an end, CTA riders hoping Chicago police have the person responsible for an incident on the Blue Line train that sent a woman to the hospital with severe burn injuries.
That's an absolutely horrible thing to have happen on the L. But I have to say, for the past 3-4 years, the L has not been a pleasant experience at best, and it's a dangerous experience at worst.
Chicago police say a 45-year-old man got into an argument with a 26-year-old woman Monday night, that fight turning violent after investigators say the man poured an unknown type of liquid on her and set her on fire with a lighter. This happening on the CTA Blue Line train.
I just saw a lady that was lying on the ground and they were trying to give her CPR. And she looked like she was in an awful lot of pain.
The suspect ran away after the train stopped at Clark and Lake. The 26-year-old woman, witnesses say, fell to the ground after she was able to get off the train.
I was just seeing her lying on the ground, and she was kind of hyperventilating, in a lot of pain. She was really, you could tell she was really in bad shape.
The Chicago Transit Authority saying in a statement, quote, the CTA has been working closely with the Chicago Police Department and the Public Transportation Unit detectives embedded at the Strategic Decision Support Center dedicated to CTA to support their investigation, which has now led to the arrest of a person of interest. The 26-year-old was taken to Stroger Hospital in critical condition with third-degree burns. We do not yet have an update on her condition. Again, Chicago police do have a person of interest as detectives work to review more surveillance video from the area.
Once again, if you are not a wrestling fan, I still would like you to give it a chance because I think you will enjoy it, especially We're definitely going to watch New Jack. We're going to watch the life and crimes of New Jack. And I think everybody in my chat will like New Jack. I'm trying to decide on what the other episode will be. I'm thinking about Dr. Death, David Schultz. I think everybody in my chat would really like Dr. Death, David Schultz. But I'm not exactly sure. Do you want me... If you want the goddamn craziest fucking story, I have to play in the shadow of Grizzly Smith. That's what, but it is fucking depressing as shit. Why not do New Jack? Oh, you want fucking this? Grizzly Smith is Jake the Snake's dad. Jake the Snake is a rape baby, and that's just the tip of the iceberg with that story. So it's fucking insane. Yeah, let's do like David Schultz or maybe the Montreal Screwjob. I don't know. I'll decide. We've still got a couple of stories to do. Fontana, California police are arresting a man for shooting a flare gun at a home.
Police are investigating this attack. A man shooting at a home in Fontana with a flare gun. This was just days after a Molotov cocktail was also thrown at that same home.
Well, CBS LA's Gio Insignares spoke with the homeowner.
A terrifying sound, and not the first time danger has knocked on this Fontana family's door. This is security video of someone firing a flare gun into Celeste Gonzalez's home this past weekend.
I have absolutely no idea who would want to harm me or harm my family.
Gonzalez says the first attack happened on October 18th, someone throwing a Molotov cocktail at her home around midnight. You can see something fly into frame, hitting the top of the home before falling to the ground. Gonzalez says the sprinklers had just gone off, soaking the grass and preventing any flames from spreading.
Everyone was sleeping. No one would have known anything until, the sprinklers fire alarm would have gone off.
But then 1 month later, it happened again.
I was sitting right there when it happened. So it was very, very scary to be that close to where, the shot was fired.
She says after the first incident, they installed more cameras around their house. And that's what caught this person riding on a bike, approaching the home, firing, and then riding away. Gonzalez says a similar incident to the Molotov cocktail happened to one of her neighbors, but she says police responded more aggressively to that case, leaving her frustrated and confused.
It's a very ugly feeling to know that, someone else can get treated in a different way when they have the same exact thing happen to them.
It wasn't until the second incident, she says, that authorities came out to visit the property and investigate. Today, Fontana police told CBS LA they've now made an arrest after an officer recognized the suspect from that flare gun video. But Gonzalez hopes by sharing this story, it highlights the need for stronger communication between neighbors and law enforcement.
Definitely the better communication, like you'd mentioned, and just if other people happen to be in my shoes eventually, continuing to share their story if they're not being heard or, communicated with as well.
Gio Insignares, CBS LA.
Investigators say they arrested 29-year-old Bernard Gonzalez Soberanes. They say he was found at a vacant home with several flare guns and flares, and police say he's confessed to the flare gun attack. Detectives still don't know whether he is the same person behind the Molotov cocktail. That's part of the investigation that is continuing.
Sounds like he's a flamer.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I skipped a story. I'm sorry. You guys, we needed the update on this one because this is a hero to all of us. I speak for chat. This woman is a hero because she probably killed a cop. Her name is Karen Reed, and she is filing a lawsuit against the cops.
We're also following breaking news in the Karen Reed saga. Reed has filed a sweeping civil lawsuit against members of law enforcement and people who testified against her in her murder trials. Let's get right over to investigative reporter Ted Daniel. Ted?
Hi, Ray. We just pulled the suit off mass courts a short time ago. It's huge, 46 pages. I'm still going through it now. Let's start with the defendants in this case. Reed is suing 3 members of law enforcement, former state police detective Michael Proctor, his then direct supervisor, Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, and MSP Lieutenant Brian Tolley. 5 people who testified against Reed are also named: Brian Albert, his wife Nicole, Jennifer McCabe, her husband Matthew, and ATF agent Brian Higgins. Reed is seeking damages to recover damages from what she says was 3.5 years of being, quote, wrongly accused of John O'Keefe's death. This suit pulls heavily from Reed's defense in her murder trials. She alleges John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, but was actually killed inside the Albert home during a late-night fight. O'Keefe was found with a massive head injury outside that home in Canton. Reed alleges people inside the house, quote, concocted a plan, unquote, to avoid and blame and, quote, frame her. As for law enforcement, Reed claims, quote, they permitted would-be witnesses to communicate with each other and coordinate their stories before any formal interviews, unquote, and, quote, allowed critical evidence to be manipulated in some instances and outright destroyed in others.
I believe it.
Quote. Reed's suit comes one day after
This is one of those times where I think she probably killed her husband, but the cops fucked up so bad, which it's also believable that the cops killed him. Both scenarios are completely plausible. But the cops, in doing the investigation, completely fumbled everything.
Caves, Alberts, and Brian Higgins filed paperwork stating their intent to sue her and her most aggressive supporter, Aiden Carney, a.k.a. Turtle Boy. Their suit calls Reed's proposed
Turtle Boy
against them a vile work of fiction and a ploy to, quote, defame and wrongly malign them.
I can fix
all
her.
the paperwork, and we'll be updating this story throughout the day. I'm investigative reporter Ted Daniel, Boston 25 News.
She's my hero. We're in the Karen Reed fan club around here. This is an oldie but a goodie. This cat is a hero.